Hey now, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and it is time for another inspirational episode of Q&A. You give me questions, I give you answers. I try my absolute best not to offend you, but I make no promises whatsoever, and we all try to leave without any hurt feelings. Now, I had some fantastic questions this past week, and I'm still going through great questions from weeks ago, but I want even more, so keep them coming. Ask me anything. Ask me about board games. Ask me about life in general. Ask me about popular culture and social media. Whatever you want to ask me, I will give you an honest answer. I can't promise I'm going to get to every question because I only go through 3 a week, but I read every single one. And if it's an emergency and you really need an answer to your question, like what's this mark on my arm, I will answer it as promptly as I can. So keep them coming on any social media that you happen to be watching this on. YouTube comments, you can email me, boardgamebrawl@gmail.com, Twitter, Facebook. Wherever you want to message me, I will read your question. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon. I really want to do some fun stuff with Patreon. If you pledge at a certain very low level, you can have Google Hangouts with us every month. You can do I don't know how this is going to work, but maybe a Skype board gaming session with a game that actually lends itself pretty well to that. Maybe The Resistance, something like that. I think it can be a lot of fun, but in order to get in on that, you got to support us over on Patreon. It's also a great way to give me feedback and talk about the show directly through the Patreon comments section, which is only for pledgers. So please keep that in mind. I'll have a link down in the comment section. Go and check it out. Now, we didn't have a new contest last week. I just gave you the winner of the Machi Koro contest, but lo and behold, we have another contest this week. This one is for Shinobi Clans from Post-Human Studios. Now, I reviewed this game about 2 months ago. It's a really great card drafting game, very unique, where you are drafting cards, 7 Wonders, Among the Stars style, but you're rival ninja clans and you're trying to assassinate or protect these different nobles out in the center of the table. So you're competing with the other clans to see which one wins out. Whether you kill him, whether you save him, you'll get points depending on what you were trying to do. And you secretly decide ahead of time. Really interesting, beautiful artwork. And I think that if you like card drafting games, definitely you should give this one a shot. And if you can win it for free, even better. I'm going to keep this one nice and simple. You can email me, boardgamebrawl@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, Shinobi Clans Contest, and you will immediately be entered into the contest. Please give me your first and last name so I can read it on the air, and I will announce the winners next week. Now, this is open internationally, but I will only cover the first $12 of shipping for international contest entrants. If domestically, North America, or US, I should say, I will cover the entirety of the shipping. So, and I know it's kind of at odds with you trying to keep the odds in your favor to win, but please share the contest if you can. Let people know about it. I want to have as many entrants as possible. Thank you very much. So, without further ado, let's get to today's questions. And I'm trying something new here. I don't have cue cards. I'm just going to read my screen here. So, Nicholas Wozniewski wants to know about Star Wars Imperial Assault, which will be coming out soon from Fantasy Flight Games. A certain board game reviewer already got his copy and has reviewed it, and it's getting a lot of buzz because of that. He wants to know what characters I'm looking forward to, the different factions I'm looking forward to playing in the game, whether it's the Rebels or the Empires, and also what expansions I'd like to see in the future, even though the game has not even quite come out yet. Here's the thing, Nick, and you have a fantastic first name, may I say. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. I like the setting. Some aspects of it I've really loved, like the Old Republic video games. I played very, very briefly in Edge of the Empire role-playing game session. I actually reviewed it on my channel. It's the only role-playing game I've reviewed so far. But as a kid, I loved the original movies, and I even got wrapped up in the Episode 1 mayhem back when I was like 17. To my chagrin, I'm very embarrassed by the whole thing. I took the day off of school just to go and stand in line to get tickets. It was ridiculous. But, you know, I'm just not a huge Star Wars nut like other people are. Now, I'm excited about Imperial Assault because I love the Descent system, and I'm curious to see what they can do with it in a sci-fi setting with the cool miniatures. But for me, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not actually that excited to play as the characters that we all know. There's nothing that appealing to me as playing as Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. I know that's like, you know, it's criminal to say that, but I'm just not that interested. What I want to see are new characters. I want to see new Jedi. I want to see new scoundrels. I want to see new Imperial forces. I don't even care if it breaks the fiction. Who cares? This is a board game. I want to see new cool stuff that is influenced by and pays homage to the Star Wars movies, but is new and fresh in and of itself. Now, They may do a little bit of that, but of course, they've already going to have, right in the box, I think they have Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, and they already have, you can pre-order the Han Solo pack. So they're going to have all these tropes of the other movies, and that's fine, and it's keeping the customers happy. But for me, I want to see new ideas. I want to see, I know that the new movies are going to make all the extended universe kind of obsolete, but still, I want to see new and fresh ideas. Hopefully there will be stuff like that coming soon, because I'm just not interested in being Chewbacca. I'm just not. Sorry. I'm not the biggest Star Wars nut ever. But thanks, Nick, for your question. I liked it a lot. Joe Wiggins has 2 questions. Joe, I'll answer your second question here real quick, because it's very simple. I have not received Xayah Legends of the Drift System, and I haven't gotten Shadows of Brimstone either. I may consider purchasing Xayah if it ever gets to retail. Shadows of Brimstone, it was too expensive for me to back on Kickstarter, and I don't know that I want another game of its ilk, because I have so many other games that fill that niche for me, like heavy miniatures board games. But I'd be interested to give it a shot. And as far as Xayah, I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I am pretty excited about it, but it's not like setting my world on fire. It's not like my must-have game. But I'd certainly be willing to play either of them and give them a fair shot. They do seem pretty interesting. The first part of your question, though, is much more interesting to me. Have you considered starting a podcast? Here's the thing. Initially, I know I say here's the thing too much. I'm sorry. Initially, I only wanted to start a podcast. I had no interest in starting a video channel because I didn't really want to appear on screen. I look monstrous, beard or no beard, and I'm much better at talking off the cuff, and I thought that's where my strength would lie. It just happens that I got into video because of my friends Gary and Tom helping me out. And that's just the way it folded out from there. And also, I was inspired by Vassal and by other video reviewers I'd seen, so it just kind of went that way. But I'd still love to do a podcast in addition to this, and I think it would be even better for me to express myself and get my thoughts and feelings out there. A couple of things have held me back from doing it. One is time. Well, let's say 3 things mainly. One is time, and it's because I've been doing because the video channel has taken off much more than I would have thought, and I want to put so much focus and energy into it, I don't even know where I would have the time to do a podcast. One of the major reasons is getting a co-host I would be very happy with. There's no one in my group really that would either be interested in doing it with me or that I think would be great enough on air and has enough passion for board games the way I do to be that interesting. I'm not trying to insult them. I just think that I am way, way off the Richter scale of passion for board games compared to most of the people in my group. And most of the people in my group just don't have voices for radio. Also, I really want a female co-host, and it's not for like creepy, pervy reasons. It's because I love Howard Stern. I love Howard. I love Robin Quivers as co-host. They have such a fantastic dynamic, and that dynamic, having these different viewpoints of being of different genders and different life perspectives, offers so much strength to their show. And that's what I would want to bring to the podcast. I know it's just a board game podcast, but I want it to be different and better than other ones that I've heard. And guess what? I listened to like 4 or 5 quality board gaming podcasts. Not a single one of them has a main female voice. The Dice Tower has like 1 female contributor. Her name's like Dicey Chic, and she only likes that game Tichu, apparently. So, and she's barely ever on the show. It's just as an example. I mean, it doesn't seem to me that many female board game podcasters, but I know that there are women out there who love board games as much as I do. So if you are one of those people and you want to do a podcast, hit me up. I mean, I would love to do it at some point. I don't know how regularly I could do it, but it's something I have definitely considered. So that's a great question, Joe, and I have been thinking about it a lot. And finally, we'll end with Mario Sickenberger. I don't know if that's your real name or last name or not, Mario, or even if the entire name is made up, but I do enjoy it. So keep that in mind. That's from me to you. What are some ways that I enhance certain games that I play? He gives the example that he's going to play K2 and he's going to do it on a chilly winter night. And that is hardcore, Mario, for real. And I've actually played K2, but we just played it in the comfort of my home. So I don't know if that's really the way I'd want to enhance the game, even if I do kind of like the cold. That might be a little distracting to the other players, but to each their own. For me, I've had that thought mainly with alcohol. It's just worked out that way. Like, I played Viticulture a few times now. It's a game I love, but I always want to do the Viticulture game where we're sitting around daintily drinking wine. I just think it would fit really well. Although, once you get to like hour 2 of the game, you're going to be like just drunk off your ass. Hey, speaking of that, the other reason I can't do a podcast is because I'd want it to be explicit, probably because I swear too much in real life and I'd just be talking off the cuff. But anyways, so yeah, that's an idea. Also, when I get Tanto Cuore Oktoberfest, I would love, if I could afford it, I would even buy the beer steins that they're selling together with the game and have like, you know, German beer night playing Tanto Cuore Oktoberfest. I just think that'd be kind of fun. Other than that, I don't know. I never gave it that much thought. I can't picture playing games in exotic locations or anything like that. I've thought about having spooky soundtracks to certain games, or but it doesn't. We've tried that before. It doesn't really work out that well. Some people just get annoyed by the music and it's too much of a distraction. We end up, if we do music at all, it just ends up being whatever's on my Pandora station at the time. So it's a good idea. Maybe I'll give it more thought, and I would love to hear if anyone else does that and what ideas they might have and what suggestions, because I think it's a really cool idea, Mario. So those are our questions for this week. Thank you so much for people that submitted them. Keep them coming. I want to read more. Remember our Shinobi Clans contest, boardgamebrawl@gmail.com. Shinobi Clans contest in the subject line to enter for the contest. We'll read the winners next Sunday. And please support us on Patreon if you can. I'll have the link down in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. I love all of you so much. I love all the support you've given me. My name is Nick. This has been Board Game Brawl, and I'm reminding you to get out there and game every day and in every way. Take care.